Hey, it's Jack from Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. So there's a couple of lawsuits, several lawsuits across the country alleging that AI software, artificial intelligence software, is being used to collude by big landlords and set rates or rents, fix prices in an antitrust violation scheme or cartel relative to rental properties, millions of potential rental properties across the country. This is kind of a confusing story, so I got some notes here. Let's get into it. Number one, a lot of people think of landlords not necessarily getting together to collude. That's something that big tech would do, or Standard Oil, like we learned in grammar school. But in this case, they're using allegedly, a new tool called RealPage. RealPage is a company that services property management companies across the country. They provide data processing and consultation. One thing that they provide is an AI-driven software tool to help you maximize your rent. Now, I remember just before the pandemic, I was working with some high-end apartment buildings in downtown Boston, and I'd ask them, like, how much is the apartment? And they'd tell me, well, it varies almost day to day on how much the apartment is to rent. And I said, how does that work? And they said, we have software that manages our portfolio based upon vacancy and based upon competition. And therefore, on one given day, a 2-bedroom could be X, but then the next day it could be X plus that, based upon market conditions. And I was very impressed. I was like, wow, that's some big time software that does that, because obviously landlords always tweak rents, but now they're doing it in real time. And I was like, whoa. Now, apparently, over the last couple of years, there's been several lawsuits. Let's find out exactly what RealPage says their software does. Here's a quick clip.
RealPage's AI revenue management has been market tested and proven to help ensure you outperform in every type of market. It's the first pricing optimization tool to fully employ AI and machine learning that delivers precise supply and demand forecasts to help properties exceed the market by 2% to 5%. Find out how to optimize and impact your asset from a trusted partner.
At issue here seems to be two things, at least. One, whether or not through RealPage, these companies are sharing what's called non-public information, and therefore using the RealPage as a middleman to collude. And two, whether or not the terms of service of RealPage require the landlords to take the pricing recommendation. In other words, they're not just using RealPage to survey the marketplace, but rather they're taking direction from RealPage on what the rent should be. Let's go to the chalkboard. In a healthy marketplace, a particular landlord would survey the marketplace, looking at the MLS, looking at Craigslist, looking at websites, ads, and then compare that to the product they have, and also their vacancy rate and their investment window, and then make an informed decision about what they should price their particular rental units on. They're going to be surveying the market and making an informed decision. That's normal. That's legal. But the allegations in these lawsuits is that something much different is going on. Let's take a look at how RealPage works. The allegation in RealPage is that basically the landlord shares data with RealPage and then gets a pricing recommendation, which would be fine. However, other landlords are doing the same thing. Other landlords that are competing against each other. And so they're not getting together in a smoke-filled room at some hotel to set prices. This is going to be the price for oil or the price for coal. No, they're not doing that. They're actually letting the AI be the middleman to collude, allegedly. You see, when you have multiple landlords sharing information in and then getting pricing recommendations out, which they almost universally adopt in order to maximize their revenue, you could basically allege, as these lawsuits do, that RealPage is the middleman for the collusion. Variable pricing is employed by a lot of industries. Hotels and airlines are probably the most common ones that you think about. Everyone knows it's going to cost more to rent a hotel room in Times Square on December 31st than it would be in the middle of February, right? That only makes sense. It's natural. It's normal. It's legal. But none of these allegations against RealPage or the landlords have actually yet been proven. As ProPublica admits in their own headline, we found that landlords could be using algorithms to fix prices. Now lawmakers want to make the practice illegal. After a ProPublica investigation, U.S. senators introduced a bill to curb price fixing linked to rent-setting software. Setting prices with an algorithm is no different from doing it over cigars and whiskey in a private club. So, is using software collusion between landlords, or is it just another way to survey the marketplace so that you can individually set your own prices to best compete in that marketplace? You tell me in the comments. Until then, I'm Jack from Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. Have a great day. Bye-bye.